Hi friends, this video is about food fortification. What is fortification? Fortification is the addition of key vitamins or minerals or any other type of essential nutrients or elements to the food is called food fortification, such as iron, iodine, zinc, vitamin A and D to staple foods such as rice, wheat, oil, milk and salt, etc. to improve their nutritional content. These nutrients may or may not have been originally present in the food before processing or may have been lost during processing. Food fortification or enrichment are two most important terms related to food. This is the process of these are related terms but some difference. Fortification or enrichment is the process of adding micronutrients, especially essential trace elements and vitamins to food. As WHO and FAO, fortification refers to practice of deliberately increasing the content of an essential micronutrient. For example, vitamins and minerals which are not present in the food previously, but adding these vitamins and minerals to improve the health of individuals and including trace elements in a food so as to improve the nutritional quality of food supply and to provide a public health benefit with the minimal risk to health. Fortification vs enrichment, these two terms are confusing. So first of all, fortification is a practice of deliberately adding trace elements or micronutrients to the food materials in which these nutrients are previously not present in that food, while enrichment is defined as the process of addition of micronutrients to a food which are lost during processing. The nutrients are present in the food but these are lost during processing. So adding these previously present nutrients to the food is called enrichment. While in fortification, it is not present in the food previously, it was not present. So adding or fortifying the additional vitamins or trace elements to food to improve the human health is called fortification. While enrichment is the practice of adding micronutrients to food which are lost in the food substitutes during processing. Why do we need fortification of food? Because deficiency of micronutrients in the food materials will lead to malnutrition and results in hidden hunger. This is a serious health risk. So in India, it was a very high burden of micronutrient deficiencies caused by vitamin A, vitamin D, iodine, iron and folic acid, leading to night blindness, goiter, anemia, etc., birth defects, etc. So our government should forms a fortification program. According to National Family Health Survey, 58.4% of children, that is 6 to 59 months, are anemic. In 53.1% women in the reproductive age group are anemic. 35.7% of children under 5 are underweight. These are the recent data available in FSSA site. Fortification is a globally proven intervention to address that much prevalent micronutrient deficiency in the population. What are the benefits of fortification? Fortification has high benefit cost ratio. So, the cost of 1 rupee spent on fortification results in 9 rupees as a benefit to the economy. So, nutrients are added to staple foods since they were widely consumed. Thus, this is an excellent method to improve the health of a large section of population all at once. This is a safe method of improving nutrition among people. The addition of micronutrients to food does not pose a health risk to people. It is a cost-effective intervention and does not require any changes in eating pattern or food habits of people. It doesn't alter the characteristics of food like taste, aroma or texture of food. The Food Fortification Resource Center is a resource and support center to promote large-scale fortification of food across India. This is a support center, that is Food Fortification Resource Center is a support center under FSSAI and promote large-scale fortification of food across India, which is the logo used for fortified food. That is plus F logo, which is mandatory in all fortified foods. The plus F logo is used for fortified food. And Sampurna Poshan Swasth Jeevan is a program under central government to fortification of food materials. Main methods of food fortification, especially there are three methods. That is, first is commercial and industrial fortification, especially wheat flour, corn meal, cooking oils, etc. are adding vitamin A and D. Then biofortification, that is breeding crops to increase their nutritional value, which can include both conventional selective breeding and genetic engineering. For example, golden rice, orange seed potato, etc. Then third is home fortification. Example, vitamin D drops for infants. First main product of fortified food is iron and iodine fortified salt. The next breakthrough for tackling iodine and iron deficiency in the country is iron and iodine fortified salt. And it is a double fortified salt, consists of two components such as iron and iodine. These are intended to provide 100% daily dietary iodine requirement and approximately 30 to 60% of daily dietary iron requirement. Our National Institute of Nutrition has pioneered in the development of double fortified salt, contains iron and iodine. It was in Hyderabad. This institute in Hyderabad, that is National Institute of Nutrition, is in Hyderabad. The Micronutrient Initiative has developed DFS with encapsulated iron. In 2009, the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has endorsed the addition of iron in the double fortified salt at 0.8 to 1.1 ppm. The Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in 2009 has endorsed that the addition of iron in double fortified salt is at the range of 0.8 to 1.1 ppm. Fortification of salt with iodine. Every year, 9 million pregnant women and 8 million newborns are risk of iron deficiency disorders in India. Iodine deficiency disorders in India. IDDS are linked to iodine deficient soil. Because our soils are deficient in iron, so we can supply this iron through these fortified foods. Iodine deficiency disorders. It comprises a range of disorders including goiter, hypothyroidism, cretinism, brain damage, intellectual disability, psychomotor defects, then hearing and speech impairment, abortion and stillbirths, etc. These are iodine deficiency disorders. Main disorder is goiter and thyroid. Then intelligent quotient. What is intelligent quotient? When a children born in iodine deficient areas have 13.5 IQ points, less than those in iodine sufficient areas. This is called intelligent quotient, where the children which are born in iodine deficient areas have less IQ than those in iodine sufficient areas. IDD constitutes the single largest cause of preventable brain damage worldwide. In India, due to lack of iodine in the soil and therefore in diet, 2 billion people are risk at IDD and around 264 million people are at high risk. The 2 billion people are at high risk and around 264 million people are at high risk. Currently, 92% of the population consumes iodized salt in India. Adequate salt iodization in India has saved 4 billion IQ points in the last 2 decades. Then next product is milk. Milk is a rich source of high quality protein, calcium and that of fat soluble vitamins such as A and D. Vitamins A and D are lost when milk is processed. Milk fat is removed during processing, especially pasteurization process. Fortification of milk with vitamin A and vitamin D is recorded in India because of the widespread deficiencies of these two vitamins. A recent National Nutrition Monitoring Bureau survey and a report of the expert group of ICMR in 2012 has stated that India has very high burden of vitamin A and D deficiencies. Young children and adults, particularly in urban areas, are physically less active and have a very limited exposure to sunlight. Because vitamin D is sunlight vitamin. Vitamin D is sunlight is otherwise called sunlight vitamin. In the presence of sunlight, vitamin D absorption is occurs in the adipose tissue of our skin. So, due to the deficiency of vitamin D, many type of hormonal imbalance and other diseases and disorders occurs in our body. India is the largest producer of milk in the world with 46.3 million tons of production and per capita availability of 322 grams per day. More than 57% of children suffer from vitamin A deficiency, which may be symptomatic or present at the subclinical level. In addition, a high proportion of pregnant women and their newborns suffer from vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is also considered to play an important role in decreasing the risk of many chronic illnesses, including common cancers, autoimmune diseases, infectious diseases, diabetics, and cardiovascular diseases. Thus, public health problems warrant public health intervention. As per Household Consumer Expenditure Survey in India, NSSO report that consumption of oil is reasonably high, about 20 to 30 grams per person per day, and it is consumed by all population groups. Since vitamin A and D are fat-soluble vitamins, fortification of edible oils and fats with vitamin A and D is a good strategy to address micronutrient malnutrition, and fortified oil is known to provide 25 to 30% of recommended dietary allowance for vitamin A and D. So vitamin A and D is also fortified with the oils. Rice fortification is cost effective. Countries with high per capita rice consumption, so it is fortified with the various types of vitamins. Especially fortifying rice makes it more nutritious in the post-harvest phase, so many of which are lost during the milling and polishing process. Rice fortification may be considered as having the highest potential to fill the gap in current staple food fortification programs. It is the staple food of 65% of the Indian population and reaches the most vulnerable and poorest section, with the highest uptake in the government safety net programs. So, Food and Civil Supplies Department of each state empanels a number of rice millers in each district for regular supply of rice to FCA, from which it is distributed to the social safety net schemes. Through FCA, the fortified rice is supplied. As per National Nutrition Monitoring Bureau survey, the average intake of cereals and millets were 375 gram per CU per day, providing approximately or greater 70% of recommended dietary intake. Advantages of fortifying wheat flour. First is excellent method of public health. Fortified wheat flour is an excellent vehicle commonly consumed by all people. Then cost effective method to prevent nutritional deficiencies. During milling of wheat, nutrient losses takes place. So fortification helps in adding back these nutrients. Iron, folic acid and vitamin B12 when added to wheat flour is important for fighting anemia and blood formation. These are the main food staple foods where uh, vitamins are fortified, that is rice, which is fortified with vitamin B12, iron and folic acid. B12 is cyanocobalamin. Then Wheat is fortified with beta iron, folic acid. Then milk is fortified with the fortification introduced in 2007 and fortified with the vitamin A and D. Implement states, all states are implemented. And then edible oil is fortifications introduced in 2018. Wheat and edible oil fortification was introduced in 2018, while milk fortification is introduced in 2017, where edible oil is fortified with the vitamins A and D, and milk is fortified with the vitamin A and D. And these are implementing in all states. And rice is fortified in 2019. And the main components are vitamin B12, folic acid, iron. Vehicles for fortifying with the combinations of micronutrients. First is common salt, iron and iodine. Then wheat flour and maida, iron, folic acid, calcium and zinc. Rice, iron, folic acid, calcium, zinc. Then vegetable oils, A and D. Milk and dairy products, A, D, iron, folic acids, calcium, omega 3, 6 fatty acids, etc. Then ICDS supplementary foods. Iron, folic acid, calcium, zinc are the fortified nutrients. Then sugar is vitamin A. Then most important program related to fortified foods or its central government programs is Integrated Child Development Services or scheme. It is a program. It is one of the largest national flagship programs for the development of maternal and child care services. Started by Government of India in 1975. Operation for 35 years. It is operated for 35 years and it is contributory in the improving the health and well-being of maternal and child care through its services. The main objective of this scheme are to improve the nutritional and health status of children at the age of 0 to 6 years, to lay the foundation for proper psychological, physical and social development of the child, to reduce the incidence of mortality, morbidity, malnutrition and school dropout, to achieve effective coordination of policy and implementation amongst the various departments to promote child development, to enhance the capability of the mother to look after the normal health and nutritional needs of the child through proper nutrition and health education. This is the reference. Thank you for watching. If you like, please subscribe and comment below.